Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now this video is going to be talking about the upcoming map resets that will be happening with the Redistributions Coast update, talking about what those pop resets and redistributions actually mean, what they're going to affect, what's actually going to change, and how they affect Great One grinds. Now, I've seen a lot of not quite correct information going around, and I think it would just be a really good idea just to sit down and talk about what these things actually mean and clarify exactly what's going to happen with those updates. So, with the Redistributions Coast update, which is the update that will bring us Redistributions as a map to the game, there are going to be a whole load of maps getting a population reset and redistribution. In fact, every single map in the game, except for Silver Ridge Peaks, is getting a complete population reset and redistribution. Now, what does a population reset mean? So, on any of your maps, let's use Rancho for an example, as we are here on Rancho right now, you have a population of animals, which is just all of the animals you have on your map. When a pop reset happens, it takes all of the animals that are on your map at that time, gets rid of them, and replaces them with new ones. So you'll have completely new animals. It's like a completely fresh map. So like when you buy a brand new map and you go onto that map and there's all of the animals which you've never seen, it's kind of the same thing. It's just all new animals that you will have never seen before. So you could get, you know, initial spawn diamonds, initial spawn rares. You could find all kinds of crazy stuff that wasn't there before. Now, this also means if you had a diamond or a rare sitting on your map before the population reset, and then the reset happens and you haven't shot that animal, it will be gone after the reset, because it's new animals, so all of your old animals that were there are gone, and now you have new ones. I hope that makes sense. So if you had a diamond, say, just sat on your Rancho, say a diamond whitetail, and you don't shoot it before the pop reset, once that pop reset has happened, that diamond will be gone. So make sure to check every single one of your maps, except for Silver Ridge Peaks, as that's not getting a reset, for diamonds, rares, great ones, anything that could be hiding away on those maps. I really highly recommend doing that before the pop reset. Now, what does a population redistribution mean? Now, animals have, like, what are being called home ranges in Call of the Wild. So, for example, like I said, whitetail on Rancho, that you'll find them in certain locations, and you'll know after a certain amount of time and spending time on your map where those animals are, where their need zones are, and where they hang out, basically, where their home range is, where they live. Once a population redistribution happens, it changes where those animals can be found. So you might find whitetail at a lake that they never used to go to drink to, or you might find them, say, further north on a map than they used to go, or further south on a map than they used to go. And that's basically what the redistribution does, is it redistributes where they are on the map and where their home ranges are. And as far as I can understand, the reason that these are happening, these redistributions, is to make things more spread out and more even on maps, and to increase performance, because sometimes you'll get sort of areas where there's a ton of animals, and it can really affect frame rate and performance, especially on console, if I'm understanding correctly. So it's to increase performance of the game. Now, something else that can happen with these population redistributions is that need zone times for animals can be changed. So, for example, at the moment on Te Awawara, red deer drink at night. I can't remember the exact time, but they drink during the nighttime hours. It's dark. Once this population reset and redistribution happens, they will now be drinking in the early hours of the morning. I think like 6 o'clock is when they'll start drinking. So a complete time change from when they used to drink. So that's another thing that can happen, is that need zone times may change. So they may move need zones around, and the need zone times themselves may change. Now, I have seen this question crop up every time recently that one of these pop resets and redistributions has happened, and there's generally some not so good thoughts towards these resets, because the number one question that seems to pop up is what will happen to my Great One grind? Does this mean that my Great One grind will be reset? Oh, I've wasted all this time grinding for a Great One only for it to be reset, and I've wasted all this time. So there is no progress on a Great One grind. A Great One can show up at any time. It's not a thing that happens after a certain number of kills. So it's not like you have to kill 1,000 red deer stags and then a red deer Great One shows up. It can show up after 1, it can show up after 10, it can show up after 10,000. It's completely RNG. It's completely random. So when a population reset happens, nothing is being reset. All your work that you've done it's still, like, you've done that work, yes, but a Great One hasn't shown up yet. But it doesn't, like, reset anything. There's nothing to reset because there is no progress on a Great One grind. The only thing that's really gonna happen is that you might need to go and find your need zones again, and maybe adjust tripod setups and stuff. But it's not anything really drastic or major. And it's nothing that, like I said, it's not like you've wasted your time by grinding, because it's not resetting progress towards a Great One, because you could, for example, this reset could happen, this next reset, you could have killed 10,000 stags already and not had a red deer Great One show up if you've been very unlucky, and then this reset happens and then you kill 10 and boom, there's a Great One, because it's just completely random. So when we talk about I've made progress on a Great One grind, it's how much work you're putting into it, and, you know, you found all your zones and things like that, and you've gone around and you've looked for all those animals. But there's no set progress, and there's nothing that's actually going to be reset in terms of your progress for your Great One grinds. And I see that as a big misconception, that people think that all of their work up until the reset has been for nothing. That is very, very much not the case. You have still done all that work, but every time that you kill all the stags on your map and come round, it's effectively resetting. So it's like, what you have to imagine is, with one of these pop resets, imagine that you've gone around your map and you kill every single red deer on Quattro, because we're on Quattro, so we'll use that for an example. You go around your map, you've shot every single red deer on Quattro. That is basically the same as what will happen with the pop reset. They're going to move around, their need zone times might change, that's pretty much the only difference. But other than that, it's just as if you've killed all the stags on your map. It's not resetting anything. I promise you guys, there's nothing to be worried about with Great One grinds. I mean, you can see on my channel the Great Ones that I've got. Some of them were pre-resets, some of them were after resets. It never affected anything for me. It's really not as big a deal as people make it out to be. And like I said, it's really not going to do anything except maybe change what you need to, like the time you might need to go. Maybe they change red deer to their zone being a little bit later, or on Te Awara, you'll be grinding in the morning instead of in the night. You might want to move your tents and tripods around, but that is it. And like I said, that's the thing I have to stress. There is no progress on a Great One grind. So you've not wasted your time. It's not like a big problem or anything. If anything, maybe you'll get lucky and after the reset, you'll get one quicker. So who knows? It's all luck of the draw. It's completely RNG. That's the thing. Great One spawning is completely random luck. So, like I said, no progress on that Great One grind. It's the only progress you can say you've made is by finding your need zones and stuff like that. And that's another thing that I should bring up. You do not need to have found every single one of your zones for red deer or whitetail or whatever you're grinding in order to grind for that species. The only reason I would recommend you go and find all your zones is so that you know what zones you want to grind. If you're like me, you'll grind all of them, but you know what zones you want to grind, and you know that there's not a Great One just sat there. Because it would kind of feel silly if you've been grinding and grinding and grinding, but you don't check the one lake, and then at that one lake says exactly what you're looking for. I hope that makes sense, but you don't need every single need zone discovered on your map in order to be able to grind for a great one. It's just not true. It's not true at all. So go find your zones and find as many as possible, yes. But the reason that you're doing that and trying to find as many zones as you can is to make sure you didn't get a crazy initial spawn great one, or there's not a diamond sat somewhere that you should probably shoot for respawns, that kind of thing. It's not because you need to find all your need zones in order to be able to start a grind. That's just simply not true, and some misinformation that I've seen being talked about. But the main point of this video is basically to discuss and hopefully inform that there is not a big reason to be worried about a population reset or redistribution while you're Great One grinding. Yes, you may need to go and refine some zones, which can be it takes a bit of time that maybe you could have used for just continually grinding. But you never know, you might get some nice initial spawns anyway, so it really isn't too much of a big deal. And honestly, if I was grinding for a Great One, I would expect that I could find most of my zones, get everything set up, probably within a couple of hours, and then just go back to grinding. So, like I said, it's really not a big deal. Please do not feel worried about it. If you've been grinding, and I see people who are genuinely concerned, there's no need to be. Please do not be worried. Please don't be upset, because like I said, it's not like you have to kill a certain amount and then a Great One will show up. It's completely random, so it cannot be reset. You cannot reset your progress. That's not how it works. So please do not be worried or upset or anything like that. All that's going to happen is some need zones, the times are going to change, the locations might change. You might need to refine them, but that is literally going to be it. It's not as if you won't be able to get a Great One because of this reset. I absolutely promise you. So I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I just wanted to try and make myself as clear as possible, because it's very, very easy for things to be misunderstood, and some of this can be quite confusing with, why are these need zones changing and what's happening. If you don't know, it can be really confusing. So I hope I've done my best to explain. I've tried my hardest. If you do still have any questions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments, or join my Discord, which I will be linking in the description. If you want to join in there, I will be more than happy to try and help you and answer any other questions you've got. If there's something I need to explain a little bit more, I'm absolutely happy to do that. But in general, don't be worried about this reset. It's not going to affect too much. You might need to refine some of your zones to grind, but that is it. There's nothing too serious. So I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope it was okay. And I hope it made as much sense as it possibly could. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.